Leaves from my journal, Logan Pierce's daily writings from the Washington, D.C. South Mission, Day 35, May 2nd, 2006. I really haven't given our investigator, S.W., enough mention in this book. She's great. I forgot to mention, I called her after church last Sunday to set up a time to come over later this week. She told me how she had thought about what we told her last week. Her main question, because she had a lot of them, but her main question was, why is authority so important? Who's to say my baptism doesn't count? Why couldn't God have Billy Graham be a prophet and speak through him? I've seen him on TV talking about God more than this Gordon Hinckley you were telling me about. Elder B.U. telling her about being baptized by authority really shook her up. Last Sunday, Sister H, SW's next-door neighbor, piano teacher, ward piano player, friend, and sister from whom we got the referral to go and see SW, got up and told the story about how they used to live in Nebraska, how loud the tornado siren was, how it would warn you of the coming tornado. She compared us to that alarm. She said how her friend came to her last week crying. Her friend, SW, although she didn't name names, came to her and said, "Yesterday your missionaries came and talked to me. I've been thinking what they said about baptism. I only want to do what God wants." She said how, after SW had told her these things, she thought, well, the elders sure blew this one. Later, she thought more about it. She said it was for the best because maybe SW needed that bold statement to hear more. Just as you wouldn't pay attention to a quiet siren, missionaries need to be extra bold sometimes to get through to someone. Strike a nerve. When I called her 2 days ago, it was to set up a date for another lesson. I ended up talking to her for 81 minutes. SW told me of how she talked with Sister H about us on Monday. She said how on Thursday she went to Arby's for lunch, and right as she sat down to eat, she saw 4 Mormon missionaries walk through the door. "All right, God," she said, "what are you trying to tell me?" I was able to answer some of her questions over the phone. She had a lot more, though. I told her, "Save them and I'll answer them when I see you." I want to be careful when teaching her the lessons, though. Line upon line, precept upon precept, here a little and there a little. I feel like a fireman who has to fill up a china teacup with a fire hose. If she hears too much at once, it'll be hard to fix. We give her one principle at a time, make sure she understands it, and then move on to the next one. It's a lot to take in. Today we're going to her house to teach some more. I plan to take notes and include them in my journal. If I make a record of the questions she's asked and my answers to them, it'll help me to be a better missionary, because I'll always go back and read how I answer them. Plus, it'll be fun to see how much I've grown in the knowledge of the gospel. Well, the teaching experience went all right, I suppose. We met in Sister H's home and shared the message of the restoration. We didn't get around to talking about Joseph Smith, however. She had a lot of questions about the Great Apostasy that we answered. We'll get to the restoration next lesson. Ending at the Great Apostasy is a better cliffhanger than the end of the 4th Harry Potter book. And that's saying something.